Alright, in this video we're going to throw this twin turbo LS swapped S2000 on the dyno and see if we can't make any power with it. So the new radiator is much better than before. So the downpipes are dumping right at the outlet of the turbo, which isn't ideal, but it should be okay. Don't see this too often, but it's running an AEM boost controller and actually has a separate solenoid for each wastegate, which makes the vacuum plumbing a lot nicer. Probably would have done the rails and regulator a little different. Hopefully the regulator isn't a problem. I've seen some issues with those style before, and battery terminal scares me a little bit, so we'll keep an eye on that. But all in all, should be able to do a little something with it. So previously the inlets of the turbos were actually shaved down because this here wasn't cut out, and it was like right up against the turbo, so there was virtually no air going in. If I'm being completely honest, I'm surprised that it worked at all. So now that that's trimmed out with the new compressor covers, that should be a big help. Alright, so I'll set up on the dyno. Just from doing that, I'm like drenched in sweat. This car was actually here, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, before I even started tuning any of these LS things. And actually it was tuned remotely, but we had a handful of different issues. Didn't have a boost reference regulator, so it ran out of fuel pretty quick. It had some different like tip-in issues, no boost controller. Just a handful of little things. The exhaust was like a quarter of an inch from the ground. It had like a Civic drag radiator in it. I think like the radiator was this big, so you'd let it run for 45 seconds and it was already overheating. So I'm glad to see he's taking care of a bunch of stuff. It's got regulator with a boost reference now, boost controller. And I think the primary limiting factor theoretically should be that we're just on 93 octane. So it's all set up on the dyno, and I guess let's get started. So I've kind of been dreading this a little bit because when it was dropped off, like it wouldn't start, it wouldn't idle. It just ran like a bag of trash cans. I'm gonna mess with it a little bit yesterday, see if I could actually get it to run a little bit better, and it caught me off guard. Oh, the other thing is I do not fit in these seats at all, so it's going to be a ton of fun getting in and out of this. Ow!
I broke my back.
Alright, so now that I'm trying to take video of it, it'll probably start horrible again, but let's see what we got. This is a cold start. It hasn't run yet today. Alright, been messing with part throttle and stuff. Got the weird tip-in stuff to go away, so that's good. It smells like coolant. I don't necessarily see like a massive leak, but something to keep an eye on. And made like a little run didn't rev it out all the way, but it is pretty rich, but it smokes like crazy. So hopefully leaning it out some will clear that up, but I'm not sure. So still got a lot of work to do. Temperature's been okay so far, and the trans, I think it might just be like the interior kind of surrounding components getting in the way of the shifter, but it doesn't really want to go into gear very well. That's a little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Still pretty fat, but a whole lot better that run. It's only making like 2 pounds of boost, so it's pretty much useless. I think I'm just going to go ahead and turn the boost controller on and at least make some sort of boost before it kind of run around in circles, just basically naturally aspirated. Definitely got a coolant leak going on. This thing is made a couple runs just trying to get the boost controller to start working, but it's really only making boost like max RPM, so that's a little bit weird. I'm using this AEM thing to control it. Coolant leak. It's kind of weird. It's like sometimes it's leaking, sometimes it's not. I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on it. So looking this over, I see we got a hose here, and it's going to the valve cover. So basically, we're just pressurizing the crankcase. So definitely contributing to why it's smoking so bad, and somewhat of a boost leak too. So I'm going to pull that off and try and turn it up a little bit more. It's still like just barely makes any boost. Here, maybe this will kind of help explain what's going on a little better. Going directly to the valve cover. So that's no good. We'll take care of that now. Went up a little bit. The air fuel curve even looks kind of stupid because it doesn't make any boost here. So we're not even into like the boost enrichment yet. We don't get into that till 6,000 RPM. And then you can see like it kind of comes up a little bit, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I'm not sure I really have any options, honestly. Getting in and out of this car is just absolutely brutal. You're gonna need like back surgery after this. So this thing actually has an exhaust cutout on it, just for the hell of it. I'm gonna make a run without changing anything and open that up, see if that does it. So that's a little bit interesting. I didn't change anything. I didn't even flash it, but pretty significant difference in power, and it still doesn't make any boost. So about 55 horsepower difference. So that's not too bad. So everything that I can get to and see all checks out. I don't see any leaks or anything. Maybe it just spools up that slow. So I'll keep baby stepping the boost up, and you know, hopefully don't bazooka the head gaskets off of it. But I mean, it's running good. It just, I don't like having what feels like 300 RPM of a power band, but that's something I don't have a whole lot of control of. Just tried some different settings in the boost controller and turned it up a little bit. See if maybe that'll help it come on a little bit sooner, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Can only start it about twice before the battery's dead too. Turned the boost up and it went down, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Let's do some more investigating. So the boost controller just completely stopped working. Man, I really don't feel like chasing wiring around. All the vacuum lines appear to be okay. Well, let me look over everything again. Oh. That'll do it. It seems to just always come back down to wiring. So I'm not sure if this was just twisted together and forgotten about or what, but hopefully hook that back up and we should work again. Yeah, who knows if it'll focus or not, but you can see there's two wires going to, I can't even get my hand in there. Ouch, there we go. So there's two wires. Basically it's coming out of the boost controller and splitting to both solenoids, and the other wire, like, it came out on both sides, so it's not going to either solenoid, so it totally explains why it's not working. So should be back in business with that in a minute. And this graph's actually a pretty good representation of boost controller not working and then boost controller working. So it's not making literally any boost till just about 6,000 RPM. But it kind of is what it is on that. Alright, let's try it again. Guess I should back the boost controller back down so I don't shoot this thing to the moon. Make 4,000 horsepower or something. My patience is slowly dwindling. We apply 12 volts to the boost solenoid. The water pump turns on. These other wires here were in this thing, but like they were in there, but it weren't tight, or who knows if it was making any sort of a connection. Maybe that'll fix it. You can't make this shit up. Now the boost controller has no power. So it has 12 volts like it should. So I guess maybe the ground to the gauge itself came undone. Pull this apart to make sure that looked good. Nothing looks fried or anything. I can't say I would have done the power and ground wiring this way, but it seems like everything's okay. I don't understand what the hell's going on. Not only was it working, but manually, like grinding the solenoids, it was working just a couple minutes ago. Now all of a sudden it sucks. It seems to have like a super intermittent connection somewhere, and when it starts freaking out, yeah, you can see it starts to power up. This thing's a mess. I just uninstalled the whole damn thing. I have a feeling it's just broken. I'm gonna try and power it up manually, and if it doesn't work, then I don't think there's anything else I can do. I think it's game over for this thing. Looks like a bomb went off over here. So now the dilemma is I have other cars that need to go on the dyno, but I kind of just don't want to just have to take this off, put it right back on again, and whatever else. I think I might just wake up at like 4 a.m. and probably use a regulator and compressed air and see if I can't get the boost up. It's about time. I gotta get out of here. So I guess I'm done for today, and I'll try and come before the sun comes up tomorrow and see if I can't regulate boost on this thing before my other appointments. Man, this stuff's getting kind of old. I don't know. It's such like a bad situation, because anytime I tell people like, hey, here's what's wrong, fix it and bring it back, it always comes back with the same problems. So I try my hardest to get it all situated and get people fixed up and out the door, but unfortunately it doesn't work out in your favor every time. And these boost controllers couldn't really be any easy. You got basically power, ground, and usually one solenoid. This one just happened to has two. All I can think is that maybe when those wires popped out that it shorted it out, but it was working at that point in time. And I verified the wires that I hooked up. Just again, it's 12 volt to the solenoid and ground to the solenoid, but there's some weird backfeeding and stuff going on. Tracing the wiring around inside the car, I didn't necessarily see anything that would, it's not like a power wire was grounded from what I could tell, but at the same time, the way it was done, the unfortunate reality is this is kind of like the outcome of the wiring when it goes like that. So definitely spend time doing your wiring nice. This is a whole lot of waste of time for basically nothing. Here's another thing that you got to try and avoid. That's cut at basically a 45-degree angle. That's going to leak every single time. So I guess I got to double check all the damn lines now too. I lied. I have to make one more run, or otherwise it's just going to bother the hell out of me. So basically got a regulator, got the gauge on it. It's pretty beat up, but it works. Then we got a line. I bypassed the solenoids altogether so they're not creating leaks. So here's basically the equivalent if we had CO2 running to it. And this is what fittings he had. So basically it's just wiring, then going over to the other wastegate, which the other solenoid has been bypassed as well. So I'm going to warm it up. Oh, damn it. I got to put the whole interior back together before I even fit in there. Well, let me see if I can do this real quick. Of course, the battery on the camera died, so I don't know if it got the run or not. Who cares? But it wants to work, so made a little bit of progress, I guess. I know somebody's going to ask why I didn't just do that a long time ago, but I just don't like trying to tell people that they need to set their boost controllers up, because it leads to a lot of stuff, a lot of questions and trial and error, and usually just ends up resulting in putting it back on the dyno anyways. So again, I just waste a ton of my time trying to get things right for people so that they don't have to figure it out on their own. But I'm gonna call it quits here for the day, and yeah, I'll try again first thing in the morning. All right, unless I come up with some master plan between now and tomorrow morning, this is probably going to be the end of it for this one. So thanks for watching, and sorry didn't get to actually turn it up and see what it was going to do. But I'm sure there'll be a round 2 video coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. And until then, I'll see you next time.